Malaysia Airports Holdings, or MAHB, says anti-graft officers recently visited its headquarters to probe tender award issues, confirming a report by The Edge Malaysia Weekly. In a filing with Bursa Malaysia, the airport's operator said the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, or MACC, wanted information and documentation relating to the multi-billion ringgit COVID-19 private screening and testing contract award for KLIA that was awarded to BP Clinical Lab. It said it gave full cooperation and complied with all MACC requirements, and there has been no further inquiry from the agency. MAHB also reiterated that there was no inquiry by the graft buster about its automated people mover replacement tender. The Edge Weekly claimed that Pestec International, in partnership with Canada-based Bombardier, is said to be the front runner for the Aerotrain contract. It said speculation is rife that the Pestec Bombardier bid, set to be above the 750 million ringgit mark, is considerably higher than the lowest bid at below 600 million ringgit. Separately, Bernama reports that MAHB has inked a tripartite MOU with Skyports and Volocopter to conduct a feasibility study to deploy electric air taxis and the required infrastructure. Skyports designs and operates vertiport infrastructure for air taxis, while Volocopter is the pioneer of urban air mobility. Citing MAHB Group CEO Datuk Muhammad Shukri Muhammad Saleh, Bernama said the parties will explore the deployment of such services at Subang's Sultan Abdul Aziz Shah Airport and other locations nationwide. MAHB closed 0.17% lower today at 5 ringgit 78. Agrochemical producer Hextar Global has inked a consortium agreement with Arcadia Acres, a major shareholder of Dagang Exchange and Fast Payment Solutions special purpose vehicle Ehsan Equity, to establish a Syariah-compliant digital bank. The agreement is pursuant to the submission for a digital banking license application to Bank Negara last month. According to a joint statement today by the three parties, the consortium believes that the unconventional approach and experience, as well as a focus on ecosystems, will allow for a better understanding of the requirements and needs of each community that the bank would be serving. This would create equal opportunities in accessing financial services and empowering niche levels of communities that have been known to face challenges in accessing finance, financial education, and financial freedom. The statement said, with its value proposition and focus on traditionally underserved communities, the consortium believes the bank will be able to help Malaysia achieve its developmental goals. It also expects to include developmental agencies entrusted by the government to upgrade and improve the situation for the lower and middle income earners in the country. Hextar ended trading today 1.5% lower at 1 ringgit 30 cent. Sapura Energy has bagged 7 contract wins and extensions in Malaysia and Thailand for its engineering and construction (ENC), operations and maintenance (O&M), and drilling segments, with a combined value of 1.2 billion ringgit. For its ENC segment, Sapura Energy said in a Bourse filing that its subsidiary Sapura Offshore won contracts from PTTEP Sarawak Oil and Enquest Petroleum Production Malaysia under the Pan-Malaysia Transportation and Installation of Offshore Facilities 2021 campaign. For the O&M segment, its subsidiary Sapura Fabrication bagged jobs from Enquest, Sarawak Shell and Sabah Shell Petroleum Company. As for the drilling segment, it said Sapura Drilling Asia has been awarded 2 contracts from Petronas Carigali for its drilling activities offshore Malaysia. Sapura Drilling was also awarded a new contract and a contract extension for its drilling rigs from the PTTEP group of companies. The contract wins are expected to contribute positively towards the earnings of Sapura Energy and its group of companies. Sapura Energy's share price rose 4.17% to close at 12.5 cents, giving the group a market capitalization of 2 billion ringgit. Airasia Group is seeking an extension from Bursa Malaysia to complete its private placement of 198.18 million shares, which it has yet to issue. In a Bursa filing, the low-cost carrier said it had submitted an application to Bursa on Monday for an extension of time from August 2nd up to December 31st, but did not reveal the reason why it needs more time to implement the private placement. The airline intends to raise a total of 454.51 million ringgit from the exercise to recapitalize, on top of cash call and raising borrowings. So far, it has raised 336.47 million ringgit via placements of new shares. To recap, the low-cost carrier placed out 100.37 million shares in March at 86.5 cents per share, raising 86.82 million ringgit, and 369.85 million shares in the first round in February at 67.5 cents per share, raising 249.65 million ringgit. Hong Kong's well-known poker player Stanley Choi Chiu Fai emerged as a substantial shareholder of Airasia after he pumped in 112.79 million ringgit to take up the private placement then. Airasia's share price shot up to 1 ringgit 21 in March upon completion of the share price placement, but the rally was not sustainable. It closed at 83 cents today for a market value of 3.2 billion ringgit. Hailey Group saw its share price rise by some 20% to 81.5 cents in morning trade today from its initial public offering price of 68 cents, in conjunction with its debut on Bursa Malaysia's ACE market. At the close, it stood at 74 cents, about 9% higher than its listing price. In a statement today, Chairman Muhammad Jaafar Awang Ismail said the listing will help Hailey to unlock its potential. He said the group plans to continue focusing on its core competency in the construction of residential and non-residential buildings in Johor and also expand into industrial building construction in the state. Upon completion of its listing, Hailey plans to distribute dividends of at least 30% of its annual profit attributable to its shareholders. According to its Bursa filings last Friday, the company posted earnings of 2.8 million ringgit and revenue of 43.3 million ringgit for the first quarter of FY21. It proposed an interim dividend of 1.68 cents a share.